All right, so let's dive into this.
Okay.
You're getting ready for a further education teacher interview,
Great.
and we are here to help you nail it.
Absolutely.
We got all kinds of great resources from RoleCatcher,
Yes.
career guides, interview tips.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pull out the gold and get you prepped.
That's the plan.
So what I think is really cool about RoleCatcher
Okay.
is they go a little bit deeper than just sort of your basic, here's how to answer interview questions.
Yeah.
They're really thinking about what this career path looks like, how to navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
They've even got some AI tricks up their sleeve, which we'll get to later.
Definitely.
But first, let's get you ready for those interview questions.
Sounds good.
You want to walk into that room feeling confident and prepared.
Absolutely.
So let's start with a classic.
Okay.
The question think, what inspired you to become a further education teacher?
Right.
Seems straightforward, but I bet there's a real art to answering it well.
Oh, for sure. This isn't just about saying, I love teaching.
Right.
Interviewers, they want to see genuine passion, of course, but also how it connects to this specific role.
Yeah.
So think about what experiences led you here.
Okay.
Was there a teacher who inspired you?
Yeah.
A moment that solidified your passion for adult education?
Right.
Weaving in a personal anecdote can make your answer more memorable.
So it's about storytelling. Showing them this isn't just a job for you. This is something you're drawn to.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what about follow-up questions?
Okay.
They might dig deeper into your motivations.
Oh, they definitely could.
Yeah.
They might ask what specific aspects of further education appeal to you, or how do your values align with the mission of our institution?
Oh, that's good.
And that's where I think RoleCatcher's Career Guide is really handy.
Okay.
Because it outlines the core values and goals of further education, so you can connect those back to your own experiences and aspirations.
That's a great tip. I like that having that background knowledge can really make your answers stand out. Another common question, describe your teaching style.
Right.
How do you tackle that one?
I mean, this is your chance to shine.
Yeah.
But remember, you're not just talking about your favorite methods. You
right.
need to show how your style fits adult learners.
Okay.
And again, RoleCatcher's Guide points this out, that adult students have different needs and motivations than traditional students. They're juggling jobs, families, other commitments.
Right.
So you got to keep that in mind.
So it's about showing you understand those unique challenges.
Exactly.
What are some keywords or phrases that would resonate with those interviewers?
Definitely highlight things like student-centered learning.
Okay.
Experiential learning, creating a collaborative environment.
Yeah.
And don't just say give specific examples. Maybe you incorporate real-world projects or encourage peer-to-peer learning.
Okay, so you're painting a picture of how your teaching style actively engages these adult learners.
Exactly.
Now, what about the dreaded question?
Right.
How do you handle challenging students? Everyone gets nervous about this one.
Right.
So how do you approach that?
It's all about demonstrating composure and problem-solving skills. Again, I think the STAR method's your friend here.
Okay.
Think of a specific situation where you had to manage a difficult student.
Yeah.
What was the challenge? What steps did you take? And what was the outcome?
So you're showing them you can navigate these tricky situations effectively. Any tips on what not to say for this one?
Oh, for sure. Avoid blaming the student or downplaying the situation.
It's okay.
Instead, focus on your proactive approach and commitment to maintaining a positive learning environment.
Right.
You could even mention strategies you've learned through professional development.
That's good.
Shows you're always improving your skills.
Yeah, shows initiative and a dedication to growth.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about a question that's all about staying current.
Okay.
How do you keep your teaching methods up to date with the latest trends? This is where showcasing your commitment to lifelong learning comes in, right? So how do you approach this one?
Well, this is where you can highlight any professional development courses, workshops, or conferences you've attended.
Okay.
But even more importantly, show how you've applied what you've learned.
Yeah.
Did you integrate a new technology into your teaching? Adapt your curriculum based on new research?
Right.
Give them concrete examples of how you're constantly evolving as an educator.
So it's not just about ticking boxes. It's about demonstrating a genuine passion for improvement.
For sure.
Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can play a role in tailoring these answers.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It's like having a personalized editor for your interview responses.
Okay.
So you can input your answer into their AI tool,
Mm-hmm.
and it will analyze it based on the specific job description.
Right.
It might suggest highlighting certain keywords or restructuring your answer for maximum impact.
Wow, that takes the guesswork out of figuring out what those interviewers are looking for.
Yeah.
So you're going in with answers that are specifically tuned to that particular role and institution.
Exactly. It gives you a real edge.
I like it.
And this is just the beginning.
Right.
We've only just scratched the surface of what RoleCatcher's AI can do.
That's exciting. Well, we've covered some heavy-hitting interview questions, and it sounds like RoleCatcher has some serious tools to help you prepare, but we're just getting started.
You bet there's a whole world of career insights waiting for us in RoleCatcher's resources, and we're diving deeper in the next part of our deep dive. Welcome back to our deep dive into becoming a further education teacher in part 1. We tackled some of those tough interview questions, and you heard how RoleCatcher can help you craft strong answers.
It's pretty cool stuff.
It is.
So now let's switch gears a little bit
Okay.
and look at a question that often comes up early in the interview.
All right.
Tell us about your experience working with adult learners.
Right.
So this one is all about showcasing your experience.
Yeah.
But what if you're just starting out
Okay.
and you don't have a lot of formal teaching experience in this area?
That's a great question.
What do you do?
Well, that's where you get creative.
Right.
Think about any experience you do have that involved educating or training adults, even if it wasn't in a traditional classroom setting.
Okay.
Have you mentored colleagues, led workshops, volunteered in a community program?
Right.
These all count.
So it's about reframing your experiences to highlight those transferable skills.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are some key things that interviewers are looking for in this answer?
They want to see that you understand the unique needs and motivations of adult learners.
Right.
Maybe you've had to adapt your communication style or teaching methods to cater to different learning preferences.
Okay.
Share specific examples that demonstrate your adaptability and empathy.
I like that it's about showing that you're not just a teacher, but a facilitator of learning who can really connect with these diverse students.
Yeah.
What about follow-up questions? I imagine they might dig deeper into specific situations.
Oh, absolutely. They might ask, can you give an example of a time you had to adjust your approach to meet the needs of a specific adult learner? Okay.
Or how do you handle situations where students have varying levels of experience or knowledge?
Right.
Be prepared to share concrete examples that showcase your problem-solving skills and ability to create an inclusive learning environment.
So you're ready for anything.
Hopefully.
All right, so you've discussed your experience. Let's move on to another common question.
Okay.
How do you assess student progress?
Right.
What are some effective assessment strategies that interviewers would want to hear about?
I think it's important to highlight a variety of methods, both formative and summative.
Okay.
Talk about how you use quizzes, assignments, projects, and even class participation to gauge understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But don't just list them. Explain why you choose those methods and how they align with the learning objectives of your course.
So you're showing them you're thoughtful about those assessment strategies. They're not just arbitrary.
Right.
What about using technology for assessment?
Oh, yeah.
That's a big part of education these days. It is these days, for sure. Be sure to mention any online learning platforms or assessment tools you've used.
Okay.
And even more importantly, explain how you use data from these tools to inform your teaching and provide personalized feedback to students.
So it's about showing that you're data-driven and constantly looking for ways to improve.
Exactly.
Now, this next question's a tricky one.
Okay.
How do you handle disagreements or conflicts in the classroom?
Oh, boy.
It's inevitable that those will arise, especially when you're working with adults who have strong opinions and diverse backgrounds.
Right. This question is really about showcasing your conflict resolution skills and your ability to facilitate respectful dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
The key is to emphasize your commitment to creating a safe and inclusive learning environment where all voices can be heard.
So how would you structure your answer to this question?
Again, I think the STAR method can be helpful. Think of a specific situation where you had to navigate a disagreement in the classroom. Describe the situation, the task at hand, the actions you took to mediate the conflict, and the positive outcome you achieved.
Right.
It's important to showcase your active listening skills and your ability to find common ground.
So it's not about avoiding conflict altogether, but about managing it effectively and even turning it into a learning opportunity.
Exactly.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about career goals.
Right.
Interviewers often ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
This question can be a bit daunting, but it's a chance to show them that you're ambitious and forward-thinking.
It is. It's about aligning your personal goals with the opportunities available within the institution.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to express your desire for growth and professional development.
Right.
Maybe you're interested in specializing in a particular subject area, taking on a leadership role, or even pursuing further education yourself.
So it's about showing them that you're invested in your career and that you see yourself growing within their organization.
Yeah.
What about if you're not sure about your long-term goals yet? So A, to say that.
Honesty is always appreciated, but frame it positively.
Okay.
You could say something like, I'm passionate about continuously learning and developing my skills, and I'm excited to explore the various opportunities for growth within your institution.
Right.
This shows them you're open to new possibilities and committed to professional development.
That's a great way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Shows enthusiasm and a willingness to embrace challenges.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Yes.
We talked about how they can help you analyze job descriptions and tailor your interview answers. But can you give us a concrete example of how this works?
Absolutely. Let's say you're applying for a position that emphasizes online teaching experience.
Okay.
You input your answer to a question like, describe your experience with online learning platforms into RoleCatcher's AI tool.
Mm-hmm.
The AI analyzes your response and might suggest highlighting specific platforms you've used, emphasizing your skills in creating engaging online content,
Yeah.
or quantifying your experience with metrics like student engagement rates.
So it's like having a personalized coach who can point out what's most important to highlight based on those specific job requirements.
Exactly. It's incredibly helpful.
It really is, and we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much more to explore.
There is, in the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve even deeper into RoleCatcher's AI features,
Yes.
exploring how they can help you tailor your CV and practice your interview responses with personalized feedback.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into preparing for your further education teacher interview. We've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
from analyzing those tricky questions to showcasing your experience. But now let's get really practical.
Okay.
Let's talk about those finishing touches that can make your application really shine.
Right. Those little details that can make a big difference.
Exactly. So we've talked about the importance of tailoring your CV and cover letter to each specific job that you apply for. It's very important.
But let's face it, that can be a time-consuming process.
It can be.
So luckily, RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer here.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned their AI-powered CV builder before.
Yeah.
How does that actually work?
Okay.
Does it write your CV for you?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
It's more like having a super smart assistant.
Okay.
You input your information and the AI analyzes it alongside the specific job description you're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Then it suggests keywords to include, prompts you to highlight certain experiences,
Right.
and even helps you quantify your achievements to make a stronger impact.
So it's not just about adding a few buzzwords.
No,
It's about strategically showcasing your skills and experiences
Right.
in a way that's really going to resonate with the employer.
Exactly.
It sounds like it takes the guesswork out of figuring out what they're really looking for.
It does. It can really help you focus your CV.
I like that. And this is where I think RoleCatcher's career guide can also be really helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it outlines the key skills and qualities.
That employers typically look for in further education teachers.
Right.
So you can make sure you're hitting all the right notes.
Exactly. You're combining the AI's analysis with those expert insights from the guide
Right.
to create a really targeted application.
That's a great point. Now, we've talked a lot about interview questions
Yes.
and how to answer them effectively. But what about the actual delivery?
Okay.
Are there any tips for presenting yourself confidently and making a good impression?
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
The more you rehearse your answers, the more confident and natural you'll sound.
Right.
And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful.
Good.
Their interview practice tool allows you to record yourself answering common questions, and then you receive personalized feedback
Right.
on your content, your delivery, even your body language.
Wow. So it's like having a virtual mock interview with an expert coach.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
What kind of feedback does it provide?
Well, it can highlight areas where you might be rambling or using filler words.
Okay.
It can suggest alternative phrasing to make your points more concise and impactful. It can even analyze your tone of voice and body language,
Yeah.
suggesting ways to project more confidence and enthusiasm.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal stylist for your interview performance.
Right. It can really help you polish your presentation.
Now, let's talk about a question that often throws people off.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, the dreaded question.
It's not just a formality, right?
No, not at all.
It's another chance to impress them.
It's a great opportunity.
So what are some good questions to ask?
You could ask about the institution's approach to professional development, their commitment to diversity and inclusion, or their vision for the future of further education.
Yeah.
You could also ask about the specific challenges and opportunities of the role itself.
So it's about showing them that you're not just looking for a job. You're looking for the right fit.
Exactly. You want to make sure it's a good match for both of you.
Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one piece of advice you want our listener to take away?
I would say preparation is key.
Okay.
Take the time to research the institution, analyze the job description, practice your answers, and don't be afraid to leverage the power of AI to help you shine.
That's great advice. And remember, you've got this with the right preparation and a confident mindset.
Yeah.
You can ace that interview and land your dream job as a further education teacher.
Absolutely, I have no doubt.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you. Best of luck in your job search.
Thank you. Same to you.
And remember, the world of further education needs passionate and dedicated teachers like you.
It does for sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Remember, your journey starts now, and we're cheering you on every step of the way.
Best of luck.